A very good morning to all my dear students. Let's have a quote to start our day. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. Today, we will start chapter 8 of history section named Vital Villages, Thriving Towns. So, children, in this chapter, we shall study about the development in villages and towns during and after the later Vedic period. We shall discuss the life of people in villages and the various occupations in which they were involved to earn their livelihoods. Now, children, let's start the chapter. As we all know that iron is one of the very important part of our life now. So, children, do you know the use of iron began in the subcontinent around 3000 years ago? And the largest use of iron tools and weapons were found in megalithic burials. So, children, around 2500 years ago, there is evidence for the growing use of iron tools. These included axes for clearing the forest and the iron plowshare to plough the agricultural fields. So, children, there was one more step added to increase the production of agriculture, and that was irrigation. People by now became aware of the importance of irrigation facilities. They began to build canals, wells, tanks, and artificial lakes for irrigation. Now, children, let's switch on to next page, and in this page we will study about who all were the people who lived in the villages. In the southern part of the country or the Tamil region, there were three different kinds of people engaged in agriculture. They were first Velalar, they were the large land owners. Next were Uzavar, the small landowners or the ordinary plowmen were known as Uzavars. Next were Kadaisier and Adime. They included landless agricultural laborers and slaves. So, children, similarly, in northern part also, there were mainly three different kinds of people engaged in agriculture. In the northern part of the subcontinent, these were as follows. First was known as Gram Bhojika. The village headman was known as Gram Bhojika. He was often the largest landowner. The post was generally hereditary. This means it was usually men from the same family held the position for generations. He also used to perform certain functions like he collected taxes from the village for the king. He also functioned as a judge and a policeman in the village. The above facts suggest that he would have been the most powerful person in the village. Next was Grihapatis. Apart from Gram Bhojikas, there were also other independent farmers in the village. They were known as Grihapatis. Most of them were small landowners. Next were Dasa Karmakara. They were landless agricultural laborers. They did not own land. They had to earn livelihoods by working on the others' fields. Now, children, let's switch to this blue box, the earliest Tamil compositions. Some of the earliest works in Tamil known as Sangam literature. Very important, children. They were composed around 2300 years ago. These texts were called Sangam because they were supposed to have been composed and compiled in assemblies known as Sangams of poets that were held in the city of Madurai. The Tamil terms used for agricultural labours in South or Tamil regions were found in Sangam literature only. Now, children, archaeologists found out about the cities, stories, travelers, sculpture, and archaeology. Let's see. Now, children, you all must have heard about the term Jatakas. Okay, if not, let's see what it is. Jatakas were the stories that were probably composed by ordinary people, and then written down and preserved by Buddhist monks. So, children, Jatakas were the part of the literature in which the stories were mentioned, written by ordinary people, and then the Buddhist monks heard them and wrote them in the literature. And children, one such story has been mentioned in your book. Kindly read it. This yellow box, you can read it. Okay, children? Now, children, we can also use the other kinds of evidences to find out about the life in some of these early cities through sculptures, carved scenes depicting people's lives in towns and villages, as well as in the forest. Many of these sculptures were used to decorate railings, pillars, and gateways of buildings that were visited by the people. So, children, there were many cities that developed from about 2500 years ago, which were the capitals of the Mahajanapadas, which we read in the previous chapters. Children, in many cities, archaeologists have found rows of pots or ceramic rings arranged one on top of the other, as you can see in the above picture. These are known as ring wells. These seem to have been used as toilets in some cases and as drains and garbage dumps. These ring wells are usually found in individual houses. Now, children, although the remains of palaces, markets, or homes of ordinary people have not been found as yet it is assumed that they would have been made of wood, mud, brick, and thatch. Another way of finding out about early cities is from the accounts of sailors and travelers who visited them. One of the most detailed accounts that has been found was by an unknown Greek sailor. He described all the ports he visited. Now, children, the story of that Greek sailor has been given in this yellow box. You can read it. Let's start with next topic. Wealth was measured in terms of coins. Several thousands of coins of this period have been found from the archaeological sites. These coins are punch marked coins. They are called punch marked coins because the designs were punched onto the metal like silver or copper. The earliest coins which were in use were about 500 years ago. Now, children, let's switch to next topic, which is crafts and craftsperson. During this period, people began to use extremely fine pottery that is known as northern black polished ware. This is so called because it is generally found in the northern part of the subcontinent. It was black in color, and both men and women were involved in making pottery. Now, children, many craftspersons and merchants now formed association known as Shrenis. These Shrenis of craftsperson provided training, produced raw material, and distributed the finished product. Then, Shrenis of merchants organized the trade. Shrenis also served as banks where rich men and women deposited money. This was invested and part of the interest was returned or used to support religious institutions such as monasteries. Now, children, let's switch to next topic, which is a closer look Arikamedu. Arikamedu was the old name of Pondicherry, which was a coastal settlement between 2200 and 1900 years back. Ships were used to bring and unload goods from distant lands. A massive brick structure was found at the site. Perhaps it was used as a warehouse. However, there were other finds also, such as pottery from Mediterranean region, such as amphorae and red glazed pottery, known as Aretine ware, which was named after a city in Italy. So, children, like Arikamedu One more city example has been given here, like Rome, which was in Europe. You can read about it. So, children, with this, we come to an end of the chapter. I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you. Bye bye.